What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan here with a brand new video. Today's video, I'm going over the new process of scouting in MLB The Show 23 franchise. So we have a little bit of a different scouting. As you can see, whenever you start a season, I'm a year into this franchise, but whenever you start the season, it's going to look like this. You go into the calendar, you got some games, and you can't scout yet. That's because scouting starts at the beginning of every week. So all you're going to do is just sim these 3 games. That's fine. You'll get the scouting assignments, and then this is where the scouting comes in. Now, if you want to find where your contracts for your scouts are, you're going to want to go to the handshake icon, hit X, go to contracts, go to scouts, and that's where you'll find it. The difference between this game and the rest of the MLBs is now you only have 3 scouts, and your budget is a lot more different. So, I don't believe yet that I found in a franchise to where the salary increases for the scouting. You're pretty much stuck at a scouting budget and have to work with it. So you can have, like how I have, a really good scout, a pretty decent secondary scout, and then a third scout. And the reason being is simple. So when you go to scouting, you have 3 scouts, so you have 3 priorities. So this is the way that I found it. I found discovering new prospects. I have yet to find that to be efficient. Um, but we're going to go to scout position. So say I want starting pitchers. I'm going to do East. East usually has the number 1 amount of scout or prospects in it. And as you can see at the top of the screen, +3 interest per week, +10 scouting per week. So that means every week you scout, certain players in that area are going to be up 10% and more interested in your team. The more interest, I believe, it's the more money that kind of goes with it. As far as them signing, sometimes you might have to overpay if you start to get close to the end. But we'll put the second one in. Let's say I really need starting pitching, so I'm going to do the central as well. So the thing that goes that you're looking out for with scouts, and we'll do it with a third one, as you can see the numbers there, pitchers has a 65, 72 for position players, but the efficiency is 98. So very efficient scout, but it kind of contradicts itself with the low pitchers and position players versus this first scout. It's really good at scouting pitchers and position players, but the efficiency is down, so kind of contradicts itself. But same thing, we're going to go west. As you can see, you get the +10 scouting per week, but the interest is different. And then the third one, you get +15 scouting per week, which is definitely what you want. So what you'll go into now is you'll hit advanced, finalize week scouting plan, and it takes a week. You can't fix it during the week, so we sim it there. It locks it, so you'll have to wait a week. Previously, you were able to do it any day you wanted to, but now it's a week-by-week basis, so you can see it. Go to the scouting, and it'll kind of show you. So the easiest way I found it, just kind of get rid of that first one. And you can kind of see where you started. So you're going to go to starting pitchers. You can kind of see where the pool is for those players, see where they're ranked, see the potential, the overall, all that stuff in there. So for instance, you could see kind of where they predict him to be based off his potential and his overall, based off of your scouting. The more scouting you do, the more accurate it's going to be, the lesser their potential will be, and their overall as well. So those are definitely things to look out for in that aspect. And next, we're going to go to the draft stage. So just to wrap this up, you could do it for any position that you want. Like I said, you only have 3 scouts and there's 4 areas, so you're going to have to kind of backtrack on each one. I just look for needs that I'm going to have in the future or needs that I kind of need now and go off that position. So let's just say catcher, we'll put it like that, and go forward. So I will see you at the draft stage. All right, so really quick, guys, I left this part out and I apologize. So if you go hit R1 when you're at the screen, go to positional needs. As you look, it says increase player interest for players who match your selected positional needs. So if you select starting pitcher, reliever's usually a hot one, and let's just say closer. Through your scouting process, they'll be more interested, which means they'll accept it for a lower pay. You won't have to spend up to get them interested in your team. So now on to the draft. All right, everybody, we are at the draft screen. So this is the screen you'll see when the draft approaches. You can add prospects. All this does is if you ever do fantasy or anything like that and you add players to your queue, this is all it does is allows you way more time to go and look through each position and add players. That way, when it hits the late rounds, maybe there's some players still left back there that you could add. You simply just hit X, add to draft queue. That's pretty much how it goes. So we'll get in the draft. This one's got a different animation in it. I was confused at first. I thought it was going to be a long draft, but it's not. So as you can see, we have the 7th pick. You hit start draft. And it kind of has the same screen that Diamond Dynasty does. And this is only for the first 3 picks. This is not the entire draft. So yeah, this is not the entire draft. This is just the first 3 picks. So don't worry, after this next one, it is over, and then you get to make your pick. So now that that's over, the first 3 are picked. The loudness is over. The first time you ever hear it, it's going to be pretty loud. So we get to our pick. You got 4 minutes to draft people, and as you can see, the scouting, the way that it was done, pitchers were my priority. Starters, relievers, closers. Although the relievers didn't get it, but starters and closers, pretty much that's what we got. So just take a look. I always go for age. You might find some prospects that have like a 99 potential, but they're at 23, 22. And at that point, they're not guys I really want to invest in. This guy's got a 79 to a 94 starting pitcher, so I would, let's say we take him. Boom. So that's pretty much how it goes. You go round by round. I'm just going to skip to the end. So that is done. And now you got to sim a few days here past the All-Star game in that. And now you'll get the screen, and this pops up automatically. You don't have to purposely stop and try to get the days out. It stops it automatically and will pop this up every time. So you go back to the menu here, and you see a signed draft picks. You click that. It's the same thing as scouting in a way, but you don't have to do scouts. It's just players. So it'll show what round you pick these guys. It shows the scouting progress that you got on them. So this guy is scouted out as pretty much as most as we can. Before signing them. So we're going to add them as our number 1 priority. So you can see here, you get +6 interest per 3 days, +10 scouting per 3 days. So if you want to get a little more info, you don't want to invest money, this is pretty much the way to go. The way that I found this to be the most efficient is you need at least 50% interest to get these guys committed to your team. So the way that I do it is I know that I can offer this guy a contract, so I'm going to remove him. I'm going to get one of these guys. So let's say I really like this guy. I need this position. Hopefully he turns out good. The interest is going to go up 6, so in 2 of these scouting trips, or the days that pass by, we should get him. We're going to put another guy with a close interest, so we're going to put him because we need those guys at 50 to just offer them a contract that's not signing. And then I always leave the 3rd for the guys that are interested, so we can now offer this guy a contract. We're going to do it, and you'll get this screen. So I'm going to try to get a guy and see if he doesn't sign. But most of these guys are probably going to... And that's what you'll get if it's declined. So you have to wait until the next cycle to offer him another contract and wait for it to go up. So finalize 3 days. I just pretty much go 3. Screen pops up again. You go to the screen. And as you can see, the interest has changed. The priority also always has a factor. So yet again, we're going to go to it. This time he signed with us. So we got a little more scouting to get more information. As you can see, definitely want to get that guy within 80%. and then add that last guy, and that's pretty much how we're going to go. So I hope this did help, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave the comments, and I will get back to you. If you guys want any more explanation or any more in depth on how scouting works, I can always make a part two and go a little more in depth of what's worked for me so far. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.